Hello and welcome to my Lunch and Learn, where each and every week I explore topics to help you elevate your mindset, be at your best, and radically expand your life and business. And today I'm talking about procrastination and what it is really costing you. So if you want to know, if you feel like you've been sitting on the fence, or if you've been in high action mode, really focused on the wrong things, and you're avoiding things that you know you should be doing and deep down you want to do, but you're just not doing them, and you're not listening to what your heart is calling for, I want you to pay attention today. I want you to open your eyes, because today is for you. And I know that some of you know me, some of you don't. I'm Larissa McCooch, and I'm a master results coach and CEO of Abundance Academy, where we help professional women stop playing small and trade their stress and overwhelm for a rich and fulfilling life where they are living on purpose and really going after their dreams. Sounds great, doesn't it? Really going after your dreams. That's what today is all about. And I would love to know more about you and your dreams. So I would love to know where you are coming in from. And if you're tuning in by replay, type in replay in the chat. If this is your first time here, type in first time in the chat. And I truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here, and I appreciate your presence. So I want to start today with painting a bit of a picture. I love attending seminars. I love learning. I love growing. And a few years back, probably about 4 years ago, I was in a seminar where Dr. Kim Redman was talking about potential and how amazing we could all be. She loves reminding us about our own magnificence. Okay. And sometimes it's like, oh, there she goes again, telling me how amazing I am. Why am I not living up to this potential? Cancel that. But those are the conversations that go on in the back of your head. And I knew, I was sitting there, I was getting really antsy. I'm like moving in my seat, wiggling my backside. I was really uncomfortable because I knew deep down, like, other people were like, wow, Larissa, you're so successful. Larissa, you have this amazing job. You have this amazing new son. You have all these beautiful opportunities, and you do incredible things. You're an action taker, and you have an awesome life. And what I didn't realize is how much the things that I'd been putting off had really been costing me. I knew it made me uncomfortable in that moment. And I knew that, okay, well, maybe I've put these things off for a few years, but I didn't really understand what this idea of cost was and how much it would cost me in the future, because I never took the time to pay attention to that. So what she had us do is she had us really look at the cost of procrastination in each area of our life. And we went around the room and we read out our number. Each person shared their dollar amount. So we were sharing dollar amounts because it's quantifiable. It's something everyone can relate to. And some people were like, oh, procrastinating has cost me a few $1,000s. Other people were like, oh, it's cost me a few $100,000. And my number was very uncomfortable for me. And when it came time to share my number out loud, I could barely squeak anything out. And it was a really powerful moment for me, and one that truly changed my life. Let me know if you can relate. If you're like, there's something that you want to do. There's something that you want to have the courage to do, to take action on. Maybe you can articulate it. Maybe you don't even know how to express it, but deep down inside, you're like, yeah, I know I'm meant for more. And I had this idea a long time ago, but I decided not to take action on it. I let life get in my way. Why are we talking about this today? Why are we talking about cost and the cost of procrastination? Well, we all have defining moments in our lives. And just like I had, you also do too. And this might be one of your defining moments. And when defining moments come up, it's your job to learn the lessons or take the losses. Okay, when these defining moments or uncomfortable situations come up, it's your job to learn the lessons or take the losses. And clearly, I'd taken some serious losses. And this moment, instead of blaming myself or getting down on myself, I chose to learn the lesson and use this as a wake-up call to step into my greatness. to elevate myself to my true unstoppable self, to my fullest capacity. I even created a workshop about it. It's called Unstoppable You. I will definitely pop a link in the chat. It's on all my social media profiles right now. But this Unstoppable You workshop, I designed it for my clients because they needed it. And I also needed it too. This is a process that I went through to give myself, to find the courage within me to start taking these big leaps. And when I did, magic really did start to happen. I want you to ask yourself, would you like to have and to live a rich life with more meaning, with more purpose, with more joy? Just, does that sound good? Raise your hand if you do. Send me some hearts, send me some love if that appeals to you. Are you willing to stop feeling guilty and justifying why you do things and unapologetically say hello to your best self? Do you want to see yourself living the good life, having more money, having better relationships, having good health, first-class experiences with time off to actually enjoy them? Like I said, I want you to consider this your wake-up call, because I know that this is going to be a huge opportunity for you, whether it's today, whether you choose to attend the Unstoppable You workshop. This can be a defining moment in and of itself. All you have to do is raise your hand and say, yes, I choose to go for my bigger life. I choose to go for the better life that I know I'm born and destined to have. And that really is what today is all about. Procrastination and what it's really costing you. There's an entire chapter about procrastination in my book. The whole book is about procrastination. It's called Stop Procrastinating Your Life Away. Okay, clearly I've given this topic a lot of thought. Hello, Alan. Thank you for joining us. So, what is procrastination? Procrastination is the act of delaying things until the last minute or spending time doing something less important in order to avoid what really needs to get done. And in so many cases, the latter is out of your conscious awareness. The thing that needs to get done, you're not even consciously aware of it. Now, procrastination has become a very worthy research subject over the past several decades, and it's been around for thousands and thousands of years, dating way back to 3500 BC. And that's pretty much when the division of labor entered society. And at that point, a job not completed no longer meant immediate doom and gloom. That meant if I don't do this task, if I don't pick the vegetables, our family, our community won't die. Okay. If I don't finish this, life will go on. Okay. And when we had division of labor, people were no longer responsible for the entire thing. And diversions like village gossip and board games began to be noted in these times. And that's really cool, because when you are solely responsible for something, that is almost life or death. And right now we're talking about procrastination in a different context, because procrastination, in fact, is one of the greatest pandemics of our time. More than 2/3 of the workforce and university students are affected by this thing. It's terrible. And it's a learned behavior that so many people take on as an identity, and they don't feel good about it. Like, who actually procrastinates and say, hey, I procrastinated, it was such a good day? I love procrastinating. Cancel that, right? People feel bad. People feel guilty. People don't feel spectacular. Like, when you procrastinate, let me know, how do you actually feel when you procrastinate? Let me know in the chat. I'd love to know what your feelings are. Is it guilt? Is it regret? Is it anxiety? Is it stress? Right? We take on feelings when we're procrastinating. And procrastination's a habit that is action driven by emotion. And this emotion is usually a negative one. So our brains want to avoid pain. And so they feel these negative emotions. They aren't comfortable, they're painful. And so people may choose to put things off. You might choose to ignore that boring project. Maybe you have like a big Excel project you have to do. Maybe you got those taxes that are due or that were overdue that you've just been avoiding, and you try to put them aside, but they're taking so much of your energy. You've got some cleaning, like maybe, oh, that fridge, should have cleaned the fridge, should clean under the sink. Maybe that bathroom that hasn't been cleaned in a while, and you've been just ignoring it and putting it off. Piles of papers, whatever it is, our brains avoid the things that are uncomfortable. And there are many documented dangers of procrastination. And you've probably heard of these. You've probably experienced some of them yourself. Chronic stress, there's like even general psychological disorders, low life satisfaction. There are symptoms of depression and anxiety. You might have some poor health behaviors, right? Not brushing your teeth on a regular basis. Right? That like procrastinating on that can be a poor health behavior. Not eating healthily, avoiding exercise or movement, right? Chronic illness is another danger of procrastination, and even hypertension and cardiovascular disease. These are documented dangers. There's been tons of research done on these. And these are all really serious. Between your health, your wealth, your happiness, your lifestyle, there are costs that are associated with each one of these things. And as soon as you avoid something, that creates an open loop. It's almost like this energy leak, and it takes the energy out of your life. So it's so important that we close these loops, that if something is taking the energy out, we deal with that. We either automate it, we delegate it, we outsource, or we delete it. And if not, my friend Deborah says, if you let these procrastination things linger, my friend Deborah said, procrastination is really suicide of your dreams on the installment plan. And it's the death of you. And you don't see it because little by little, it disappears. And when I heard that, I was just like, oh my goodness. I don't want that to happen to you because I know you were destined for more. So let's have a reality check here. Okay, let's have a reality check here because this is your life. This is truly, truly your life. And I recently read a quote that the cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. The life you could have lived. So really, let's look at all aspects of your life before, little by little, it slips away. So over the last 5 years, okay, I want you to think about some of the things, like some of the key things that are the most meaningful to you that you have procrastinated on. Like what's one big dream that you had and you gave up on? Or that thing that you're like, oh, I should have done this. I should have taken action on this. How much has procrastination cost you in the area of money? How long has avoiding things cost you? How much has it cost you in the area of money? What's it cost you in the context of health? What has procrastination cost you when it comes to your relationships? And you should write these things down. If you don't have a pen and paper, I want you to grab a pen and paper right now and put this on paper. It's so much more powerful on paper. If you don't, go back to this part of the recording because this is going to be a game changer for you. What does it cost you in terms of your feelings, your confidence, your emotions, like your self-worth? What kind of opportunities has it cost you? And is there any other cost that's significant to you? So health, wealth, relationships, opportunities, self-worth, and anything else. So in each of those categories, I actually want you to write something concrete, like real numbers and real substance. And when it comes to wealth, don't just put a lot of money, actually put a dollar amount. How much time has it cost you? Sometimes we forget about time. That's another good one. We dwell over things, and time is the only non-renewable resource. How much time do you spend stressing or overworking or overthinking about these things that you're not doing that might take like 5 minutes to get done? So over the last 5 years, what has it cost you? Now, if you were to flash forward and think about the next 5 years, if you don't make a change, what will it cost you over the next 5 years? What will it cost you over the next 5 years? It might be double, it might be the same number. It might be even more. Depends on what your level of acceleration is. So what will it cost you over the next 5 years in terms of money, in terms of time, in terms of your health, in terms of your relationships, in terms of your opportunities, and in terms of your self-worth? And I know that often, like we live in this digital age where, everything is so instant with these cell phones, we don't really think too far ahead. But I do want you to think ahead. One of the things I learned working in mind body movement, I would work with a lot of people that were older, and I loved working with them because they always came to me with this renewed sense of curiosity and renewed desire to live this beautiful, active, healthy life. And when you're 20, you don't really think about the impact that something has on you when you're 60, 70, 80, or 90. But when I realized that some people can't reach up above their head to take a plate or a glass off a shelf, if they don't take care of their physical body, I started paying more attention to how I treated my body that day. When I realized that some people can't bend down far enough to pick something up off the floor, I became much more mindful of how I did things. This is the same thing. What is the impact 20, 30, 60 years from now if you don't? And when you're at the end of your life, what do you want to look back on? Do you want to look back and go, "Oh, she should have done that. Yeah, wish she had the courage to go after her dreams," and live a life with regrets? Or do you want to say, put things off, but there was a moment I decided to change things. There was a moment I decided to take control of my life. I totally decided to become unstoppable and let go of my story, let go of all the BS that's contributing. And I made a decision. I made a committed decision. I got off the when I, then I trap. And I took action and went for my dreams, even if I was scared, even if it didn't make sense to me. And Alan in the chat wrote, procrastination makes the next day a rerun, but with more responsibilities piled up. I love that. It's so true. Procrastination is a rerun of the same day with more and more and more. And they just stack. And that stack and that pile gets really, really heavy. I don't want that for you. I want you to have the beautiful life you love, you deserve so very much. And so I want you to take some time with this exercise. Okay. If you write it with 2 columns, maybe even 3 columns, what does it cost you over the last 5 years in each category? How much has procrastination cost you in the area of health, wealth, happiness, happiness and emotions, opportunities, time? What will it cost you in the next 5 years? And then think way, way, way long down the line. What is the actual expense? And for me, this idea of living life with regrets and not living the life you were born and destined to is just so sad. And I want you to have a beautiful life. I want you to have a spectacular life. That's why you're here. And if that thought is a little scary or uncomfortable to you, that's okay. Your job is to take imperfect action. And Les Brown says you don't have to be great to get started, but you have to get started to be great. And one step at a time, you'll build momentum. And sooner than later, you'll be off to the races. And you, ready or not, here you come, because your beautiful future lies ahead. So I'd love to extend an invitation to you to join us for the Unstoppable You workshop. It is happening on Friday and Saturday, July 22nd and 23rd from 1 till 7 p.m. Eastern Time. It is 2 full days, jam-packed of information. We have run this workshop several times, and it is powerful stuff. I've had people attend this workshop with no dream and come out with a dream they were scared to articulate, and within 2 months, see that dream come into reality. I've seen people purchase houses that they only dreamed of. I've had people put time into themselves where they would never have invested under other circumstances. And they're like, okay, I'm putting everything else in my life aside and I'm investing in me. And because they had the courage to put that time and invest in themselves, they've gotten jobs that pay double their income and had promotions that were ridiculous and they would have never had the courage to ask for. You don't know what your unstoppable future holds. So I would love to invite you to our Unstoppable You workshop. Again, 2 full days. I know it's summer. If you are not able to make it live, we do have replays available. However, we want you there live because live is always better, but replays are available if you have to tune in that way. We are not running these every month like we used to. We are scaling back on the frequency. So I don't know when the next time is that you will be able to actually tune into this workshop. It is only $47. So it's absolute peanuts for the value that you are going to get. And if anything interests you, I'm going to definitely pop the link in the chat, but you could even just put I want in the chat, and I will make sure to get the link to you personally. So you have yourself a great day. And I want you to really stop procrastinating your life away. I want you to be unstoppable and allow yourself to step into your unstoppable best self. I know that when I was sitting in that workshop and I really looked at what procrastination had actually cost me, and I looked at the contrast from before to the potential future, I couldn't breathe. I was so uncomfortable. But when I squeaked out that number and I had the courage to say, okay, no more guilt trip over this, I'm going to make a change. I decided to leave my job that I was in. I decided to pursue a career that I'd been dreaming of for probably 15 years before that all my friends knew about and I had shut out. And I decided to really take massive action and take a leap of faith and get out of the self-imposed trap I was in. And that is what I would love for you, is to step up, step out, and absolutely shine. So join us for the Unstoppable You workshop. A link will be there very shortly. And I will see you guys again next week with another Lunch and Learn. So you have yourself a great day. Bye for now.